Hey guys, we are in some tension building energy today. We have the moon in Aquarius going to be coming into a conjunction with Saturn retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. And this also means, therefore, we'll be forming a square to the nodes of the moon and also Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Uranus and Saturn are back in a very close square to each other in fixed signs, which really has been some of the fundamental energy over the past 2 years that has been causing a lot of the big shakeups and the big upheavals to perhaps like our long-standing status quo as we are going through this transition of ages right now. But that being said, today is a day where we may be experiencing a bit of emotional upheaval, perhaps some conflict or some resistance or some impatience, or just feeling like a bit repressed or held back. There could be issues with authority coming through today as well. A lot to talk about, and honestly, like it could pertain to the past and these changes that have been going on over the course of this past 2 years, year and a half or so. So that being said, you guys, let's jump into the report, talk about how this is breaking down and what it might mean for us on the ground today in our experience. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today is Thursday, September 8th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. And if you guys stick with me till the end of the report, we're going to be talking about some tarot cards that also came out in conjunction with the energy today, so we can just tap the field from a couple different modalities and just get a better read. But let's start with the astrology as we always do. Like I said, our main event that's really coming through today is this reactivation of this Saturn-Uranus square that has literally been ongoing throughout the course of 2021, and it started fading away. Throughout 2022, this energy started to dissipate, but now because of retrogrades, we have these planets coming back together, and Saturn for our full moon is actually going to be moving back within 1 degree of this conjunction, and this energy is just coming back into existence in a very prominent way. And this is, of course, bringing up themes like changes, breakthroughs that started happening back around 2020, 2021. Last year, this 2021 astrological lunar year was that was like the main deal of the year, was the Saturn-Uranus square. And like I said, 2022, this has kind of, waned out a little bit here and there, but now it's very much back on the table. So things that began and started developing as of 2021, the changes that started happening, there are realignments and readjustments that are going on now and that need to take place. Now, these planets, Uranus and Saturn, they're both retrograde currently. And tomorrow, we're also going to be having Mercury, who is the ruler of our current lunar cycle in Virgo, going retrograde as well. This Saturn-Uranus square that we have ongoing right now and that is being activated in the energy today, and that is going to continue to grow closer throughout this retrograde process over this next few weeks, and with our full moon that is coming up on the 10th, this is indicating a period of adjustments to things that began happening around then. And remember, this is happening, we're in a lunar cycle right now. This new moon in Virgo has a lot to do with like conflict resolution and like rebalancing the scales, restoring peace, restoring harmony, restoring justice in the context of things that may have gotten quite out of line. And with this retrograde energy being present and the square coming into effect and the moon being right there with Saturn today, see, the moon is going to conjoin Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn is currently at 21 degrees of Aquarius. Uranus is currently at 19 degrees of Taurus. So they're 2 degrees off right now in fixed signs, and we have the nodes of the moon at 16 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. So they're a few degrees off from Saturn, but it's still close enough to really count, especially when we have the moon, which is the fastest moving planet, like going to be covering this entire degree range today and triggering all of this by square and the conjunction to Saturn, of course. This is just bringing back up likely for adjustment, though, for readjustment, for restructuring, and also perhaps like gaining some type of crucial insight or awakening as well in regards to what began happening 2 years ago. Or there may be like the next chapter of that experience beginning to play out now. This is also going to be, like I said, like this energy, that is being activated today by the moon coming into the conjunction with Saturn, setting off this square with Uranus, there is like whatever, I feel like whatever maybe like upheaval or like dishevelment or jarring thing may happen, unexpected thing that like kind of throws things up in the air and makes things appear to be like getting off course in this energy today. Literally, like when the full moon comes in this next couple of days, that's going to be in a trine and a sextile to Uranus, whereas today we are dealing with the moon in a square to Uranus. So actually, you know, if there is some emotional upset today, if we feel like things are just totally going off the rails, and like, you know, we need to do something about it or we don't know what to do, we shouldn't get too attached to that, because with the trine coming in, with this full moon that's coming up, full moons bring exposure and illumination, and they, you know, it's the climactic energy. It's like the full outcome of whatever has been growing. And in the trine to Uranus, this is going to be making positive adjustments, positive realignments. Like it's going to be assisting and facilitating things falling into place in a just a more positive way somehow. So I just want to sort of say, like, disclaimer, if there are some sort of jarring upsets or things seem to be going, like I said, sort of like off the rails in the energy today, like, this is not what's being set in stone. We are in retrograde energy. This is like adjustments being made, and they will be, you know, continued to be like reworked over this next like couple week period of time. And then with this full moon coming in, like things are actually in the process of being put right somehow, but it just may be in a way that seems hard to conceptualize or hard to understand at this period of time. But like I said, you guys, main energy coming in today is that moon in Aquarius coming through and activating this square. This is a T square. We've got the north node and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. We've got the south node in the sign of Scorpio, and we've got Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. Saturn and Uranus in square. This is breaking through resistances that hold us back from growing into our authentic truth and our authentic potential and activating our destiny, essentially. Like, Uranus rules the future. Uranus rules authenticity. Uranus rules potential. And the north node, this is also the next phase of growth, the next lesson plan, where we're going. The south node, this is our karma, and this is attachments from the past and where we've surrendered our power out of any sense of lack of recognition of the value and the potential that we hold within us. And then, of course, Saturn controls things and limits things and represses things and holds them back, but also structures and forms and lays foundations. Saturn wants to refine things and wants to make things perfect. Well, this square, you know, this T square playing out, and then we got the moon coming in, that's our emotions as well. This dynamic that we've had going on between Saturn and Uranus, this is this energy that is pushing for a breakthrough in alignment with radical authenticity that puts us back on the track of activating our potential, activating our destiny. That's what the Saturn-Uranus energy represents. Saturn and Uranus are both rulers of Aquarius coming to the square together that is pushing for some type of evolution or resolution into, like I said, this authentic alignment that is capable of activating destiny in the context of the age of Aquarius that we're transitioning into right now. And the north and the south nodes, the destiny, the path ahead, karma, the past, what we're detaching from. This has been a karmic detox that is helping to bring us back into alignment with the truth of our authentic potential so that we can break through our self-limiting beliefs, Saturn in the sign of Aquarius, air signs that have been keeping us from recognizing the truth of that potential and that value, and beginning to lay foundations and structure a new reality for ourselves that like promotes the long-term success, the ability to endure and to like build legacy based on this new understanding of ourselves and our potential, and the ability to, again, activate that, rise into our potential, go through this conscious awakening that is also very much incorporated in that. Uranus is the planet ruling awakening as well. Sign of Aquarius, this is our conscious awakening. So that is the energy that this that has been moving us through this past couple of years, and that is why there has been so many big shakeups and so many major transformations and so many big changes and stuff like that. Is because this is like happening on subtle levels, energetic levels within us, and it's happening in the world around us, and we're mirroring both of those things, and it's just being reactivated now in the energy this weekend. So things that started happening, started changing, maybe coming back up now for some type of readjustment, And we don't need to fear it though, because it's heading in a good direction. This energy has been breaking down and ushering us out of the paradigm and the matrix of the past. And like I said a couple times, there's big life changes that have happened this past 2 years, shifting our reality completely. And there are just adjustments to our journey back to truth being made at this period of time today. And as we are heading into our full moon in Pisces that is coming up. Okay, so what might it be like for us though as we're going through this today? There may be some just like more jarring experiences that are going on. We're talking about a T-square that is setting up, and Uranus and Saturn and the moon are involved. Also, destiny and karma. This is a karmic alignment, but this is a square. These bring tension. This brings frustration. This is sort of bringing things to a head as we are building into this full moon energy, actually, so that they can be rearranged in a better way. Like, that's where this is going in this Virgo cycle. Remember, we have a lot to be actually optimistic about, even though things may appear quite bleak, especially like just in the collective energy and on the context of the macrocosm level and stuff like that. It's just because there's a lag though. Like, there's a lot of projection, there's a lot of narrative going on right now. A lot of things are not truly as they appear, and there's also a lag in terms of what is happening on an energetic level and what that is translating into on a physical level in terms of just our streamlined timeline. So we don't, yes, like we definitely need to acknowledge that we are in a time of some major breakdowns and some major changes, but ultimately, like, it's for the purpose of like setting us free on honestly like a soul and spiritual level. That is what this is, where this is all headed. It's just might get a little ugly in the along the path of getting there, but ultimately it is going to be a victory for the human spirit. I will tell you guys that. But in the energy today, again, with Saturn there and the moon there, this could be blocks, limitations, resistance to our progress. Issues with authority could be coming up today as well. Rebelling against authority, the moon and square to Uranus. This can also make us very like feeling like very rebellious and like playing devil's advocate about stuff, like just not following the rules for the sake of not following the rules because we just don't want to be like held down or limited or like told what to do in or any capacity. But with Saturn and the moon together, like this is also a very controlling energy. Like there may just be, we may feel like there is just some strong controlling force that is holding us back today or trying to, manipulate what we have going on, and we are just not having it in quite a rebellious mood. That could be coming through in this energy as well. Strong resistance, impatience, as well as a very impatient energy, craving freedom, this emotional unrest coming through, and a desire to make some changes. We may feel like we just can't let it rest, like we've got to do something, like we've got to figure it out, like we've got to take some type of action, like this cannot stand. Like that sort of might be the energy that's coming through today. And like I said, rest assured, by Saturday with this full moon coming, like something is going to happen, something is going to change for the better, most likely in some type of a way, because of the moon in aspect to Uranus again, but this time by sextile and this time by a more positive facilitating aspect. Something, in this Uranus square energy today, it's like something could be coming out of left field that sort of like upsets our plans or upsets what we thought we had going on. It's like we've finally got all our ducks in a row, and it's like we're finally like, I'm starting to understand, like I'm starting to get it. It's all starting to make sense. Like I'm starting to, be able to put the pieces together and understand like what has been going on or where this is going to. But then something like comes out of left field that just like totally sideswipes all your progress. And you're just like, what? Like now what am I supposed to do? But like I said, this is there could be more coming over this next couple of days that sort of alleviates things that may be going on in this energy. And this is because of this retrograde energy, like also, yes, you know what I mean? Like this is the time for reevaluating things, for making adjustments. It's very important that we are very adaptable in terms of what we are trying to get going in this energy right now, adapting, changing, and redoing our plans for things, because we're about to be going through a major reevaluation, reconsideration, and honestly, like rediscovery of what it is we truly want, who it is we really are, what it is we really value, what we prioritize, what we want to spend our money on, like what our idea of like a comfortable material, like physical material existence is, like our material world, like taking more of a prominence in terms of what we want along those lines as well. This is definitely a period where we are likely to be changing our minds a lot in terms of what we want, what we desire, what we like, the type of relationships that we want to have, how we want to spend our money, like what makes us feel comfortable, what brings us pleasure, like all of that type of stuff across the board, like during this Mercury retrograde that's going to be happening tomorrow, and Mercury and Venus in mutual reception right now as well. Mercury, starting the retrograde in the sign of Libra, ruled by Venus, while Venus is in Mercury sign of Virgo, and then Mercury will back into the sign of Virgo. This is a blending, this is a fusion of what we want, what we desire, how we relate, like how we want to spend our money, what we find to be comfortable, what we find to be pleasurable, and also our thoughts, what we're talking about, what we're thinking about. Retrograde, reevaluating, you guys, like. And it's based again on this awakening that we are likely going through pertaining to our own authentic truth. Like that's what this whole push is for. And if we're discovering, we're actually an entirely different person than we perhaps thought we were or tried to be or, grew up thinking that we were, like, and we're discovering who we actually are at this point in time and how radically different that is from the life that we've created for ourselves. Of course, this is going to change our preferences. This is going to change our desires. This is going to change, how we present ourselves as well, like what we even find beautiful, Venus, what we love, like the nature of our heart generally undergoing like some very practical, mature, like in the sign of Virgo as well, like down to earth, getting real about what it is that we value, what we desire, what we want, and what we want our relationship and financial dynamics of our world to look like going forward. So, it's actually not necessarily a bad thing if things seem to be sort of the bolts and screws seem like they're like falling out of our, what we've been putting together at this point in time, because we're likely to discover like, oh, I actually needed to change that anyways. Oh, that actually wasn't like, I'm glad that happened because that wouldn't have suited me. Like after we go through these changes that are going on. A lot of what is happening right now is universe actually like saving us from what we don't know that we don't want. Like that's sort of how I see this period of time right now. And also, we're heading into retrograde. Like a lot of things could be coming back from the past as well, for reconsideration and reevaluation. This is never a time, you guys, where if there's people that are coming back from the past, like you don't want to be getting into relationships or anything like that with people from the past during a retrograde period. I'll tell you guys that right now. So just something to keep in mind, especially with this Mercury Venus energy, this communication relationship energy and the retrogrades. Like if people from the past are trying to come back and, maybe like smooth things over, or, there's a reason that it probably didn't work out, and you don't want to be getting into relationships with people from the past when it didn't work out the first time during a retrograde period, because honestly, it's a lesson that we're supposed to learn from that situation. It's not a commitment that we're supposed to make. So wanted to, kind of say that as well. But we're being saved in this energy from what we don't know that we don't want. And we will be changing our mind about a lot of things and adjusting our plans accordingly. The pressure, though, is definitely building today. And through this full moon, people may be acting a bit cold, a bit ruthless, emotionally immature, manipulative as well, with the moon in the conjunction to Saturn retrograde. This can be, trying to exert like negative emotional control over other people, or allowing our emotions to control us in a negative way as well. This just can create kind of more of like a dictatorial, oppressive emotional energy that people may be exerting, or manipulative could come through like that as well. Just generally controlling. But this is because, honestly, of this subconscious energy that's going on with Saturn in the square to Uranus and the moon there as well, where there's like this palpable energetic like drive towards freedom, desire for freedom and liberation and awakening. And it's like the Saturn energy is like, no, like I can't allow that to happen. So I'm going to like unconsciously like exert this authority and like be very like just like dominant and oppressive and controlling because I feel your like spark awakening within you and I just need to snuff that out as quick as possible. Like that sort of like on a subconscious, unconscious, energetic level, if people are acting more domineering and controlling in the energy today, like that's why, because there's some type of unconscious threat that they are not aware of, probably, that they're even picking up on, that is triggering them into this behavior out of like a defense mechanism and feeling threatened. So that is an aspect of the energy that we have coming in today as well. A subconscious sense of change, awakening, and desire for freedom that is palpable, and it's like a snapback or a defensive measure against that. Also, though, like this day with this T-square going on, bringing us back and representing all of these major themes that have been going on for this like extended period of time now, breakthroughs, growth, things coming to a head to be resolved or evolved in a better way. And remember, as I said before, like this is a month of conflict resolution. Mercury ruling this month in the sign of Libra, the sign of the scales, restoring justice, restoring peace, restoring harmony. That does not mean coming back together necessarily, but it means being able to agree to disagree, or being able to, you know, perhaps even go separate ways in a situation without, you know, someone feeling like scorned or there being necessarily like bad blood. It's sort of like peaceful resolutions or perhaps reconciliations as well, but just done so in a way that like both polarities, both parties are relatively like harmonized at the end. Even if they may not be, you know, harmonized together, they're, you know, just more balanced in their own energy. So however it's playing out, whatever's going on, like there is a galactic push for some type of resolution to come through at the end of this. And we are moving, you know, this full moon, like I said, there is going to be the trine to Uranus going on, which has a tendency to put things right and to facilitate things and to help things fall into place. So, you know, we just need to have respect for the retrograde processes that are going on right now. We need to be very like tight with our faith and with the process that we're going through, very consciously aware of the shifts that are going on within us right now, and that we're probably going to be changing our mind about a lot of things. This is not the time to make commitments, you guys. Like during this mutable cycle right now that we are in, and Mars and Gemini, this is about decisions, choices, options. Actually, in the energy today, we may be feeling quite anxious about decisions, choices, options, like things that we have to do, a choice that we have to make, you know. The Saturn, Moon, Uranus energy could be, like I said, like putting us in that situation where we're just like, I can't let it rest. Like something's got to give. I've got to do something. I've got to make a choice. I've got to take an action. Like I've got to figure this out in some type of way. And it may be like really stressing us out or keeping us up in this energy. But, you know, it's because we want to be able to get what we want. We want to be able to stand in our power and receive what we feel like we deserve and create what we are truly finding the passion and the inspiration within us to create at this point in time. Remember, we are coming out of energy right now that has been really, really trying to inspire us to find our passion, to get back in touch with that, and to, you know, figure out, you know, how we can tap into that and how we can use that to bring us back to life in some type of way as we are on this journey back to our authentic, like personal truth. So that is also sort of coming through in the energy today. In terms of the Sabian symbols, let's talk about the position of Saturn and Uranus, because they are the planets that are mainly being activated today by this square from the moon and the conjunction. Saturn currently at 21 degrees of Aquarius. That Sabian symbol is a woman, disappointed and disillusioned, courageously facing a seemingly empty future. Now, this degree actually, like on its surface, seems quite like melancholy and like kind of a downer, but actually I feel like there is so much like hope instilled in this degree and so much wisdom as well, because she's disappointed, she's disillusioned, like she's, you know, in this period of just hopelessness basically. However, it specifically says she's courageously facing the future. Like despite the air of hopelessness through which she may be experiencing her reality at this point in time, she is like courageously facing it. Like she's not going to let it break her. Like she knows that just because it may seem hopeless, it may seem bleak in this moment, that doesn't mean that that is going to be the final outcome. And we need to, you know, have the courage to maintain faith in the face of that which seems hopeless at this period of time, because 19 Taurus, where Uranus is right now, that Sabian symbol is a new continent is rising out of the ocean. We are in this process of really like a rebirth right now, and like totally recreating our reality based on these changes that are going on inside of us. And yeah, like a lot may be falling away, a lot may be changing, a lot may be being shooken up in the foundations of our reality. It may be scaring us, it may be unsettling, like it may be really disorienting us, or it may be making us feel like, we don't know what to do next. But this is the process of us recreating ourselves, us recreating this world, and us going through this paradigm shift. And it's blessings in disguise energy again. Like at the end of the day, like, yeah, we may not see it right now, you guys, but we will in retrospect when we look back, and we will realize that everything we went through was ultimately worth it, and ultimately put us in a place that is so much better in terms of our personal level of fulfillment and just general sense of like inner peace, inner harmony, and purpose in our lives. So, those Sabian symbols I feel like are pretty telling. We also have Venus and Chiron at some interesting degrees today, both talking about nature spirits and becoming aware of the unseen forces of reality. I feel like this is also talking about like the hand of God at work, and this really magical like cosmic energy right now that is playing a role in rectifying things, even though they may not appear, or they may not be as they appear right now. Venus today is at 5 degrees of Virgo. That Sabian symbol is a man becoming aware of nature spirits and normally unseen spiritual energies. And then Chiron is at 16 Aries. Nature spirits are seen at work in the light of the sunset. So in the context of this like karmic day, this like more divinely aligned day where there is like an activation happening that is turning the wheel in the galactic clock, that is leading to the energetic shifts, deep within us, that are contributing to this greater shift externally that is shifting our paradigm, moving us into the age of Aquarius. I feel like this is talking about these spiritual forces really being at work and very much a part of this process, and us becoming aware of that, as this energy is playing out, and the need to sort of see the spiritual side of what is playing out in this energy right now, and to, allow that to be part of the awakening that may be coming to us today, this week, in this energy heading towards this full moon. A man becoming aware of nature spirits and normally unseen spiritual energies, and nature spirits are seen at work in the light of the sunset, because it's like this is what is actually causing the transition. It's like God's hand at work in terms of transitioning us out of this past paradigm and leading us to this age of Aquarius, this new paradigm, this sunset, nature spirits at work in the light of the sunset, this transitional period that is leading us to a new day, a new continent rising out of the ocean, the position of Uranus right now. Everything that is happening, you guys, is about the emergence of this new world that is based on the realignment and the recognition of and with our authentic truth. And this is going to be happening for each and every one of us, you guys, over the course of this next 2,000 years. This is not a quick process. For some people, it's going to be happening a lot faster than for others, but this is just the name of the game right now, and it explains a lot of what is playing out in our physical world, on the world stage, in the media, and all of that. So that is what I have to say today, you guys, in terms of the astrology as it's playing out. Uranus activated, Saturn activated. There definitely could be authority issues, definitely rebelliousness. Mars and Gemini. Like there could be, today could definitely be a bit of a more conflicting, argumentative, heated day where things are coming to a head and we just feel like something's got to give, something's got to change. Let's talk about the tarot message that came out for today, you guys. Very interesting in the context of the energy that we are coming out of, also the energy that we are moving into. The first card that we had coming out of the deck today is the lovely Empress, and this reminds me of actually the pursuit and the, the energy that we had going on yesterday. Yesterday we had some very, very inspired energy going on, this grand trine and air signs that was really like trying to show us something in some type of a way that is leading us back to the truth of our passion, the truth truth of our heart. And this is the Empress. She sits in all of her glory on top a throne of the truth of her passion and the truth of her heart. And she is open to receive all of the abundance that rains down upon her as a result of being in that creative expression. This is fertility. This is creativity. This is being receptive, being able to receive, but also because we are in a place of self-empowerment based on the alignment with the truth of our passions, the truth of our creative ability, and the truth of our heart and the energy that's associated with that. So I feel like this is talking about, over this past couple days, we may really have discovered, what it is that we're passionate about, and we may be gaining a sense of deeper understanding about what it is that is truly motivating us and lighting a fire inside of us. And that is more of what we're going to be discovering with Mercury retrograde and him and Venus in mutual reception, figuring out what it is that we really want, the Empress energy coming through. After that, though, we had the King of Cups in reverse. This is sort of reminding me of the moon energy coming into a conjunction with Saturn retrograde today. This, on one hand, the King of Cups in reverse, this could be some very, very deep, profound, powerful introspection going on in terms of our own emotional state, in terms of our own unconscious, in terms of our own, the contents of our own unconscious mind and unconscious, subconscious drives and stuff like that. This could be some very, very deep introspection going on in the context of the Empress energy that we may have come to. Or this also could be coming up against some type of resistance from authority, especially, or male energy as well, that is sort of inverted and being overly manipulative or overly controlling, very emotionally detached as well, very lacking compassion, lacking empathy. That could also be something that is coming through with the King of Cups in reverse. Or this could generally just be feeling sort of out of control emotionally too, just totally unable to regulate our emotions, or just out of control of our own emotions. And then the card that we had coming in next is the Nine of Swords, followed by the Seven of Cups. This is also talking about some type of fear or anxiety or something keeping us up at night, being unable to sleep, something really worrying us, something stressing us out. And it's a decision or a choice that we have to make, or a set of options that are coming to us and just not knowing what to do, or needing to take an action but feeling sort of stuck and not able to do so because we're not seeing clearly. There's so many choices. It's the consequences of each, we don't know what to do. It's stressing us out. It's keeping us up at night. This could actually be pertaining to some type of male figure or masculine figure, again, who is exerting some type of negative control, or just being emotionally toxic in some type of a way. Or it could be, again, in regards to these really deep emotional truths that we're discovering within ourselves in regards to this Empress energy that is really stressing us out because we know we've got to make some type of choice now. Or it could also be, that lack of emotional regulation or emotional control also really stressing us out and giving us some type of anxiety and us not knowing what to do about it. But in the context of the square energy that's coming through today and Saturn and the moon coming into the conjunction, this could definitely be bringing up these themes. And then on the back of the deck, though, we had the Five of Swords in reverse. The Five of Swords, this is generally a card of sabotage or self-sabotage or someone stealing power. But when it's in reverse, it's actually kind of, this can be surrender. And this can also be things coming back together somehow, again, sort of that, not necessarily reconciliation, but just an ease and tension, a ceasefire type of energy as well. This means that this conflict is coming to an end, actually, also. It's like I said, a ceasefire, coming to an end. And that's what I'm saying, we may be stressing ourselves out in this energy more than we actually need to be. It's whatever, inspired our inner Empress and that we are trying to move into and to embody at this point in time, maybe bring up some real power struggles with people who felt that they had some type of control over our emotional state or something. Or it may just be making us feel out of balance emotionally, or it may be forcing us to really look at some really deep things emotionally. But either way, it may be bringing us to the state of anxiety, fear over what we're going to do next. But this is honestly saying that we don't need to worry about it. The Five of Swords in reverse, like the end of a conflict, the end of the conflict, like this full moon, we kind of just need to let it rest. Like, even though we feel like we can't, like we kind of just need to surrender the burden, surrender it to the divine, and know that it's going to be working out in our best interest, because, you know, this is talking about a conflict coming to an end. And then we've got the Lovers and the Queen of Cups upright. So this is restoring balance. This is restoring harmony. This is restoring inner peace. Like, this is what I've been talking about. This Virgo cycle, this month of September, is ultimately working towards, also with Mercury and Venus in the mutual reception. And this full moon coming through that is in these positive aspects to Uranus. So I really feel like this is saying, you guys, like, whatever is coming up today, or if anything is coming up today that is sort of seemingly interfering with what we thought we had going on in a negative way, and throwing us into a state of fear and questioning and like all of this and not knowing what to do, kind of just sit tight a little bit, because there's going to be something coming through that sort of like ends that conflict in one way or another, and helps us to make a choice that really does lead us to a very happy, fulfilling outcome in one way or another. So we'll have to see how that plays out, but that is the message that is coming through, you know, in terms of the astrology and in terms of the tarot cards as well. Now let's grab one more card. This is a Synchronicity card. Oh, not yet. God, Spirit, Universe, what do we need to know about the energy today? What can benefit us as we're going through this energy? And what can help us out? Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what I was saying. It says rest, relax, and breathe. Like, we sort of just need to do our best to surrender the burden in this energy. It says, he feedeth among the lilies until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. Song of Solomon 2:16 through 17. Take refuge among the lilies of God in heaven, and dwell upon the concepts of joy, harmony, peace, beauty, and divine law and order. All your plans, journeys, and undertakings will prosper. Continue in this abiding trust and faith until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. And like, literally, exactly, like, that is the message of this day today. Like, we're in difficult squares today, bringing up difficult things that have been happening in the past. Perhaps things may seem, like I said, like they're sort of coming out of left field today, but there's going to be a resolution. Something is going to happen to change things and bring them back into a more positive outcome as we go throughout the next couple of days. So rest, relax, breathe, and try not to get like overly stressed out about what seemingly is happening in the energy today. So that is what I have to say for my report today, you guys. Message from the stars, a message from the cards. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think that they would like this type of content, be interested in this too. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. I value each and every one of you so much. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much for being here. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff. Those are in my description box below. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We are going to have a Mercury Retrograde day to talk about, and we are going to talk about it. So I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it, and I will see you then, guys. Have a beautiful day, and until tomorrow, bye, guys.